Okay, hey everybody, let's go again. So here I'm cold calling this with the Queen Jack suited. There is another player still acting, so no need to start doing anything there. Okay, we flop the set, nice. I decided to call this time only. And now I do 3.5 times on a revert this one. I have here some busted flush draws, so this is very nice place to balance that. I sometimes bluff raise the river here. He had king queen. Okay, we flop very nicely on the right hand side. And we have a position, so if he would have bet, I would have just called. Out of position, I would have raised and try to get the money in. Now that he checked, I bet for value. And also to build the pot in case I hit. Left hand side, he seems to be folding a lot to c-bets 100 so far, so I c-bet without anything. And now we just check, and I lost to tens. Now we gain very nicely open-ender on a try board, so I'm not overbetting this. If there would be a flush draw, I might do it, but not on this board. So now we are getting a little bit deeper, 140 pp's and 130. So we could start adjusting a little bit our opening range as well as our three betting strategy. But still, I stick with my default and look more the players when consider what to do. But definitely I'm noting it, of course, all the time that now we are a bit deeper in some cases. Like here, this is clear squeeze. Ace king is a strong hand. And I hope, of course, to win the pot pre-flop. Because we are still out of position and we don't have any... It's not suited king. On these bet boards, I tend to see bet 1/3 on 3-bet pots out of position. Then is a nice hand to continue. I also can rep the both of the flushes if they hit. Because I had the blockers to he having a flush. Right hand side, no need to do anything. We don't have anything going on and we have ace high, so it is okay for us to just see the showdown. This is ridiculous bet. And we have a bottom set, so don't lead ever here, so we don't need to have any leading range here. Nice river. Hope he has a 6, but I will bet 80% as a default in these cases. I have busted throws there also, so I'm bluffing here, so of course I bet the same when I have value. I have a flush card on the right, so I just check. We can continue many turns. So we do now. We 3-bet the left. We don't have to do too big. 3 times 3x is enough. We are in position. Don't call king queen ever there on the button. Especially king queen off. Definitely a 3-bet. I'm 3-betting king jack suited if he opens. This is close on the right hand side. I decided to call. I'm a bit deep, and the guys after me maybe are not the. I'm only calling here because I'm calling on the right hand side also. Ace queen, ace jack suited sometimes. I keep calling, no need to do anything. We still rep ace queen type of a hand, and of course now we go all in. Nice, that's a cooler. Ridiculous cooler. Ace 3 suited out of position, definitely plays multiplay very well, and we are deep, so no need to do anything else than call. You could also squeeze, but I prefer to do it with ace 5. As said earlier, these monotone flops I play very passively in overall. This is close with the threes. I really don't like my call. Maybe I should have just folded because one guy is still acting and he's a pre-flop raiser, so this was a mistake. Had I had like backdoor flush draw, I could have called that, but that was a mistake. The guy has only 20 pp's opening this 2.5 about my call. If I get any pair, I'm playing for stacks now when I didn't have, so try to stop the turn and definitely need to bet the river also. Don't ever leave the river here because he has a lot of one flush card hands and he will fold them on river. I try this time to talk live, so I will not pause the video, so let's see how it goes. Here I isolate the guy with the 70 pp's. He seems to be a weaker player. Yeah. So he is. So we flop the middle pair and the cutter So you could go either way. I decided to check. With backdoor flush draw included, I would have bet this. Now this is easy call. He's repping very narrow here, and okay, he's betting half a pot, but still he's narrow. I don't think he's value betting 8 here, so I think we need to call this. We also block the nuts, some of the nuts, so it's a clear call. Like 10-9 we block. Like he's not value betting there over pair. I don't think he is. Not even 2 pair. So it's a bluff or straight plus, more or less. Nice multi-way pot. Hopefully. Yeah, it was. And we have a middle pair. If anybody does anything, we basically, if there's a lot of action, we fold. We don't need to fight. There are 4 players in the pot, so we're done with the hand. These multi-way pots you have to really play very, very carefully. Fold. You need to fold that one. God damn it. Fold. Good. When you play more and more, you get the gut feeling what you need to do in certain situations. Here I will sometimes call with threes. Yeah, I do it now. Here also, we are more than almost 200 BBs deep. The guy with the 54 BB stack still has so much stack that he seldom solves over. Right hand side definitely raise this one. We have some sudden two pairs. We are also here more than 200 pp's deep, so this is not my default play in 100 pp's. In these cases, I sometimes just call with this kind of a hand that can flop very big. So we bet also the turn. We sometimes have here also backdoor flush draw to go along, so we have to consider whether we then check, because we have a lot of equity, but in this case we didn't have much. This is definitely the worst hand I ever had in this this situation, so we definitely bluff this, and I use 80% is okay here. I would also bet for value 80% if I have here set of 5s, for instance, 9s. So 9s I 3-bet sometimes, yeah, but 5s, 200 pp's, I call 5s here. He can have better draw, queen jack. He can have ace, bigger ace or something. Even with ace jack, this is a tough call. Ace queen I would call this definitely, I think. At least ace king, of course. But it would be nasty if he would now shove over me, because I'm also repping very narrow, and I definitely have some draws, busted draws here. But it really needs a lot of guts to sip over me, and I still can have also those sets. We 3-bet, we are again close 200 pp's deep. Ace 9 is nice hand to do this deep. We can flop the nuts, or we can turn the nuts, river the nuts, and nuts are always nice when you are deep. Right hand side we are out of position, slightly deep, and I really like to do it a little bit bigger, especially when they min raise open. And now we can go all in here. ranges are wide and we are not that deep. We have a bottom set here on the monotone flop. I like to play it passively. And now we definitely need to check this because he may have some spassy bluffs on river. And he is not folding any flush, I don't think so. Yeah, he had a nut flush. And these sets on monotone boards, especially the lower sets, I mean, you don't have to fast play them for protection because the hand can still improve, and in that addition, you can conclude a lot from the board text of that monotone board because some of those board uh, appearing flush cards will block a lot of villains flush cards, so flushes. So basically, you can also conclude this card removal effect here, and that will also guide you when playing set on monotone flop, because you can sometimes also call on river with that set, even though there are 4 flush cards. Now we have interesting situation here. We are very deep with the 35 Frek Leon, and then we have Coveren 1 playing with us here. If he sips, I'm folding. When he calls, now 10-9 is also got there. So my hand is far away from, I can have 10-9. So I have straight here sometimes. Then also, this is definitely towards top of my range, like blade, but I still can have set of 5s. But I also have a lot of these queen jack combos because this is offsuit. So I have to consider also that how many of them I need to call. Definitely I would choose those without the flush draw. That's very interesting card. And this cover and val just calling is really I'm not feeling very good about the situation. He's just calling. I doubt he called just with the naked backdoor flush draw on flop, so most probably 10-9 is in his range. 10-9 suited. Then also, of course, the set, which is now quads. He can have the same hand as me, but I doubt he will play it like that. This is very, very tough spot. I don't exactly, I should do the math. I honestly don't know whether I need to call here. Because this is multi-way pot. He doesn't have jacks, he doesn't have queens, he can have quads of 5s or 10-9. What bluffs he has? He basically has nothing. So that's why I think I end up folding this, but I would call 5s, of course, and then 10-9. Honestly, what bluffs he would have? Nothing. And I lose the overpair if he end up slow playing some overpairs. So, interesting spot. but he would have played 10-9 like that. And also maybe, I don't know, maybe he would have fast played the set, so maybe that was really 10-9. I would think like this. Okay, I will pause this after this and we continue then some other day. Here 7-6 Sweden. Please find these spots so you can invest sometimes a little bit money, but this is of course risky. I don't think I recognize that he only had 30 BBs, so that would have been definitely a fold now that I look it, but in the heat of the game I most probably didn't notice that. Now with the ace-9 here, I call this turn because I have the showdown value. Without the ace, I might have raised, and I could have done that actually because I also had the ace of spades, so I could have rep all flushes on river, so I had many bluff cards then to continue on river, and I could have also hit my open ender, so that would have definitely been maybe good to raise also that hand, so that was perhaps also not the optimal line. Anyway, I will stop here, so thank you very much.